Hello everyone. In the last video lecture, we discussed about measurement of properties, in which we study about the various systems which are used for the measurement of properties like a CGS, MKS, FPS. Then unit. What is meant by unit? Most advanced system of a unit, that is the SI system. How the units are derived from the fundamental units, that is the type of fundamental units and the derived units. In this video lecture, we will going to discuss about the measurement of some physical properties like weight and mass, length, density, volume and temperature. These are most important and more useful everywhere in the chemistry calculations. So we will going to start this video lecture with the measurement of properties. But before that, if you are new to my channel, if you like the videos, then please subscribe the channel and share the videos. We start with measurement of some physical properties. The first one is mass and weight. We know that matter has mass, so mass is an inherent property of a matter. Mass of a substance is the amount of matter present in it. That is, it is the measure of quantity of matter a body contains. When we said that the matter has a mass and that mass is nothing but the amount, we measure the quantity, measure the amount of that matter. So mass is the most important property of the matter. The mass of a body does not vary as its position changes. It means the mass of substance is a constant. Mass is not affected by the gravitational force. So mass is always constant. The mass of a substance can be determined very accurately in the laboratory by using analytical balance. In a chemistry or in a chemistry lab, this type of balances are put there for the measurement or the mass of a chemical substance which is to be used for the experimental purpose. This balance is called as the analytical balance. It has two pans, one for putting the weights and another for putting the required chemical substance, and it is enclosed, this balance is enclosed in a glass coverings in order to avoid the fluctuation in the measurement. The SI unit of mass is kilogram. However, its fraction gram, 1 kg is equal to 1000 gram, is used. That is the smallest part of the kilogram, that is the kg. 1000th part of the kilogram is a gram, is used in a laboratory because smaller amount of chemicals are used for the practical purposes in the chemistry laboratory. So not a kg but the smaller unit, that is the gram, is to be used. Then weight. Weight is a force exerted by gravity on an object. Weight is due to the effect of a gravitational force. That means weight is affected directly by the gravitation force. So the weight of body is result of the mass and the gravitational attraction. So weight is to be changed. Mass is constant but weight is not a constant. The weight of a body varies because the gravitational attraction of the earth for a body varies with the distance from center of the earth. As the gravitational force is changed from the center of the earth, then the weight of the body or the weight of the matter is also changed. So weight is not a constant. Hence the mass of a body is a more fundamental property than its weight. So in chemistry, consider for the calculation we consider the mass mass is more faithful as compared to weight, because mass is not affected by the gravitational force, so it is a constant, and weight is affected by the gravitational force, that means it is not a constant, so mass is a most fundamental property which is used. Then next one is the length. Next physical property is the length. In chemistry, when we express the properties such as atomic radius, bond length, wavelength and electromagnetic radiations, then length is used. For the measurement of a size of atom, radius of atom, bond length, that is the distance between two atoms in a molecule, wavelength, for example wavelength of a light, for the wavelength of light is to be measured, or the unit of the wavelength of light is the length. Then, but the quantities like atomic radius, bond length are very small. Atom is a very small and its radius is too much small. Therefore, the larger SI unit, that is the SI unit like a meter, is not used for the measurement of atomic size or the atomic radius. So, the fractional units are to be used. Then which one is the fractional unit? That is nanometer, picometer. These are the fractional unit or the smallest unit of the length. Here nanometer means 10 to the power minus 9 meter. 1 picometer is equal to 10 to the power minus 12 meter. This smallest unit, here the radius or the bond length are to be expressed by using picometer unit. Then next one is the volume. It is the amount of a space occupied by a three-dimensional object. Any matter which occupies the space in 3 dimension has a definite volume, and that space, that volume occupies the space in 3 dimension, and that occupied space is determined in terms of a volume, that is called as its volume. This volume is not depend on a shape. For measurement of volume of a liquid and a gases, a common unit, a liter, is used, but the liter is not a SI unit. Liter is not a SI unit. Here 1 liter is equal to 1 decimeter cube is equal to 1000 ml is equal to 1000 centimeter cube. In this diagram, in this picture, 10 cubes are there. This is a single cube which has height 1 centimeter, length 1 centimeter and the breadth 1 centimeter. That means this is a 1 centimeter cube. Such type of 10 cubes are arranged here. 10 cubes are here, 10 cubes are here, in this way. It means that this cube has a length 10 centimeter, height 10 centimeter and the breadth 10 centimeter. 10 centimeter, 10 centimeter and again this is 10 centimeter. 10 centimeter means 1 decimeter cube. 10 centimeter means 1 decimeter. 10 centimeter means 1 decimeter. So this distance is 10 centimeter or 1 decimeter. This distance, this length is also 10 centimeter or 1 decimeter, and this height is also 10 centimeter or the 1 decimeter. So this volume is 1 liter volume. Means it is a volume of a cube which has 10 centimeter height, 10 centimeter length and a 10 centimeter breadth. In this volume, near about such 1000 cubes are there. Such type of 1000 cubes are there. So its unit becomes a 1000 cm³. This is 1 cm³. And such type of a smaller cube, number of such type of a smaller cube becomes 1000. So 1000 cm³. So the SI unit is 1 liter is equal to, the amount present in this cube is 1 liter. 1 liter is equal to 1 decimeter cube. 1 decimeter into 1 decimeter into 1 decimeter, that is 1 decimeter cube. Then 1000 cm³. This 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter is the 1000 cm³. And when the volume becomes 1000 cm³, that it means that it is 1000 ml. 1000 ml. 1 cm³. 1 cm³ is equal to 1 ml. So 1000 cm³ is equal to 1000 ml. Here the conversions are given here. Then here the same calculation is given. 1000 cm³ is equal to 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter into 10 centimeter. That is the height, breadth and the length, 10 centimeters. So 1000 cm³. SI unit of volume is expressed as a meter cube, represented as small m³. Different kind of glasswares are used to measure the volume of liquids and solutions. Different kinds of glassware in the laboratory to measure the volume. Different kind of glass apparatus are used. For the measurement of volume, we use the graduated cylinder. This is called as the graduated cylinder, which is available from 10 ml to 1000, 10 ml to 1000 ml or 10 ml to 100 ml for measuring the smaller quantity. Burettes. This is the burette. This is from 1 ml to 20 ml or larger than this also. Pipette. These pipettes are available from 5 ml to 10 ml to 25 ml. Volumetric flask. These volumetric flasks are available in the laboratory, 50 ml, 100 ml, 250 ml and so on. By using this glassware, we can accurately calculate or accurately prepare the solution. Then next one is the density. Density of a substance is its mass per unit volume. That is m by v. Mass by volume is the density. Mass of the substance divided by the volume of a substance is called its density. Then it is determined in the laboratory by measuring both the mass and the volume of a sample. Mass and volume of a sample. The density is calculated by dividing mass by volume. It is the characteristic property of a substance. Dividing mass by volume. SI unit of density is calculated SI unit of mass divided by SI unit of volume. That is, SI unit of mass is the kilogram and the SI unit of volume is the meter cube. So its SI unit is kilogram per meter cube. This is the largest unit. So the smaller gram per ml or gram per ml like this, or the gram per centimeter cube, this type of units in CGS systems are also used. Density is measured in the laboratory by using pycnometer. This is the pycnometer. Here the density bottle is placed. This is 50 ml density bottle. The volume is clear, 50 ml, and the mass is to be calculated by using this pycnometer, and finally we get the ratio, that is the m by v, which is we called as a density. Density is measured by using pycnometer and the density bottle. In this density bottle, the liquid of which the density is to be calculated, or the substance of which density is to be calculated, is to be filled up to the mark, and after weighing, the mass is divided by the volume, and that ratio is nothing but our density. Then next one is the temperature. temperature is a measure of hotness or coldness of an object. Hotness or coldness of a object. There are three common scales to measure the temperature: degree Celsius, degree Fahrenheit, and the Kelvin. In the chemistry, we use the Kelvin scale only, not the Fahrenheit and the degree Celsius. Here in this diagram, in this picture, the three scales are given. This is the Kelvin scale, Celsius scale, and the Fahrenheit scale. Generally, the Fahrenheit scale is used to measure the body temperature. Celsius is used for measuring the climatic temperature. Kelvin is used for the scientific purpose calculations for the thermodynamic temperatures especially. The thermometer with the Celsius scale are calibrated from 0 degree Celsius to 100 degree Celsius. Calibrated, that means on the thermometer which denotes the temperature in a degree Celsius, having marking from 0 degree Celsius to 100 degree Celsius, and this is to be calibrated. That means this marking of 0 degree Celsius and 100 degree Celsius is nothing but the freezing point of water and the boiling point of water. 100 degree Celsius is the boiling point of water and 0 degree Celsius is the freezing point of water. First, the freezing point of the water is to be freezed, and on that the thermometer is placed, and mercury where stop, the marking is to be 0 degree Celsius because of freezing point of water, and the same thermometer is placed in the boiling water, and the place of a mercury which is to be rises because of increase in the temperature in the thermometer marked as 100 degrees Celsius, 0 degrees Celsius and 100 degrees Celsius. And then this 0 degrees Celsius to 100 degrees Celsius is divided into equal 100 parts, and each part is called as the 1 degree Celsius, 2 degrees Celsius, that is the rise in temperature by 1 degree Celsius. In this way, the thermometer which is to be used to determine the Celsius temperature is to be calibrated and prepared. The Fahrenheit scale is represented between 32 Fahrenheit to 212 Fahrenheit. 32 Fahrenheit to 212 Fahrenheit. The temperature on two scales are related to each other by the given relation. Here, Kelvin is the SI unit of a temperature, and the relation between temperature on two scale is as degree Fahrenheit is equal to 9 by 5 into 0 degree Celsius plus 32. The Kelvin scale is related to Celsius scale. This is the relation between degree Celsius and the Fahrenheit. This is the relation between the Kelvin and the Celsius temperature. Kelvin, if you want to calculate the temperature in a Kelvin, then we add 273.1 into the given Celsius temperature. Here we get the temperature in a Kelvin. Both these calculations in a detail are studied in the next chapter. It is interesting to note that the temperature below 0 degrees Celsius are possible in Celsius scale, because in Celsius scale the temperature goes to minus scale also, minus 10 degrees Celsius, minus 20 degrees Celsius. But in case of a Kelvin scale, negative temperature is not possible. That is, a negative temperature is not possible on the Kelvin scale, but it is possible in a Celsius scale.